The room was still clapping when she slid the papers across the table. My retirement banner hung crooked behind her, gold letters sagging like a bad joke. 50 years of work reduced to finger food and forced smiles. My wife stood there in white, freshly pressed, glowing with a confidence that didn't belong to her. My stepkids were already smiling, too wide, too early. "You're outdated. We're done here," she said, low and sharp, like a blade pressed just enough to draw blood. I looked at the papers. Divorce. Immediate effect. I nodded, signed. When I handed them back, I leaned in and whispered, "Understood." That was the moment the retirement trust activated its voting rights. They didn't hear it. They couldn't. Power is quiet when it moves correctly. I used to believe loyalty was built slowly, brick by brick. I met her after my first wife died, when silence had weight and evenings stretched too long. She brought laughter. Her children brought noise. I gave them stability, schools paid for, trusts established, vacations upgraded without discussion. They called me Dad in public, Sir in private. I thought that was respect. I folded them into my life like a final chapter meant to be gentle. I rewrote my will. I adjusted beneficiaries. I stepped back from daily operations, handed over ceremonial titles, let the board parade my name while easing me toward the exit. I didn't notice when affection became accounting. I noticed the glances, though, the late dinners, the way conversations stopped when I entered rooms. I noticed my wife's sudden interest in timelines. When exactly does everything transfer? What happens if something happens to you? That's when pain became data. The truth arrived quietly, a forwarded email she forgot to delete, a draft never sent. Once he signs, we're clear. Attached asset projections, my assets. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is for people without leverage. I hired a forensic accountant under a shell name, then a private investigator, then a lawyer who specialized in corporate governance and smiled only when the knife was already in. Every signature I'd ever given was reviewed, every trust clause reread, every contingency dusted off and polished. They thought retirement meant surrender. It meant consolidation. While they planned celebrations, I planned outcomes. The retirement trust, established decades earlier, was designed for tax efficiency. What I hadn't advertised was the dormant clause, voting rights transferred upon termination of executive employment under hostile conditions. Divorce at a retirement party qualified. I let 3 months pass, let them spend, let them posture, let my stepson sit in my chair during a charity gala and practice my smile in the mirror. I watched board minutes. Attendance shifted. Alliances weakened. The CEO, young, ambitious, sloppy, started calling me legacy like it was a compliment. Then he fired me, publicly, symbolically. A final humiliation, he thought. "You're outdated. We're done here," he hissed. I replied quietly, "Understood." By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. Agenda item 1, who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? The fallout was surgical. The CEO was removed before lunch, his severance blocked by a clause he'd never read. The board voted unanimously once they realized which side of history they were standing on. My wife found out through the news. She came to my office uninvited, confidence leaking with every step. The children stayed in the car this time. "You ruined us," she said. I corrected her. "No, you miscalculated." The divorce settlement she'd celebrated was valid, clean, final. It left her with exactly what she'd earned, nothing beyond what the prenup allowed. The trusts she thought were hers reverted automatically once malice was established. Her lawyer missed that. Mine didn't. Her children's education funds? Conditional. Respect clause. Terminated. The house? Mine. The car? Leased through the company. Repossessed by sunset. She cried. Not for me. For the lifestyle. I felt nothing. Relief, maybe. Like finally setting down a weight I'd been carrying for someone else. The final confrontation wasn't loud. It was a dinner. Private. Calm. They sat across from me. The stepkids quiet now. Eyes darting like trapped animals. I thought you loved us, the eldest said. I did, I replied. Past tense. Silence stretched. Heavy. Earned. You taught us to look out for ourselves, the youngest muttered. I nodded. And I taught you to read contracts. Apparently you skipped that lesson. They left without finishing dessert. Now I wake up early again. I walk my own halls. I sign documents that matter. The company is stable, stronger even. Loyalty clarified by fire. People ask if I regret being so calm that night, if I wish I'd yelled, thrown glasses, made a scene. No, scenes are temporary. Structures endure. They thought they were ending me at my retirement party.